Hi everyone, hello. Excited to be here with another episode where I have a Chris Shreeve, who is a co-founder of VOKOL. So Chris, please introduce yourself.
Hey everyone, Chris Shreeve, co-founder, head of growth at VOKOL. We are an AI tech company using AI voice to automate the creation of podcast style audio for sports marketers.
Okay, Chris, really awesome. So a lot of AI stuff, all right? A lot of, bump words. So could you tell us where the idea came from and how you decided to go in this space?
My business partner and founder of VOKOL, Mark Antal, reached out to me on LinkedIn with this idea to leverage AI to personalize the fan experience. We talk a lot about personalization, AI, fan engagement, right? A lot of hot button items. But Mark's idea was true personalization. The goal of using AI audio, these amazing lifelike voices that sound like human creators, can talk back and forth and banter with each other, really opened up my eyes to what true personalization could be and could mean for the sports fan. And as a sports fan myself, I wrestle with 8, 10 different apps that I open up every single day, getting information from all of these different places. And so just the idea and concept of being able to personalize audio directly to me at my individual fandom was really compelling just as a fan. And I could see the writing on the wall of where AI content creation is going beyond text to audio and conversational content. So that was really the genesis of the idea, brought to me by my business partner, Mark, and been really excited to be along this journey with him over the last 9 months or so.
Okay, yeah, this is actually a really interesting idea, right? What I'm thinking when you're saying true personalization, what do you exactly mean by the true personalization?
So we've been talking about personalization in marketing for over a decade, right? But up until recently, personalization in sports has been pretty limited. Maybe your name's in an email, maybe the sports bets in your app get filtered by the league that you like, or maybe the team that you follow. But to me, personalization is really what is personal to me at a really, really deep level. And until now, I don't know that we've really had the technology and functionality to personalize content at the one-to-one level in a way that is truly compelling or engaging to fans. So what I mean by that is the ability to take all of your first party data online, the teams that you follow, the players that you like, the bets that you make, the players on your fantasy team, all of that information, and aggregating it into a personalized podcast experience. And up until now, there hasn't really been a way to speak to the fan. And that's really what we want to do. We want to empower sports marketers, to leverage technology and be able to speak to their fans at a one-to-one level. And we can do that now with these AI voices that we can automate and deliver those personalized experiences at scale, which we contend will increase all sorts of engagement metrics and ultimately create business value for sports marketers.
Okay, really interesting. So you need, when do you work with clients, first of all? Are you B2B focused, right?
Yes, B2B focused. It was a decision early on in the company to go B2B because we want to be a partner. We want to be an ally to these sports marketers. We are not the AI company that's saying we're going to take people's jobs and look out, everybody. And in fact, I think that's a horrible PR move from a lot of these AI companies because they lack trust, right? If someone is thinking about using a platform or a tool and they're worried about their job being taken, why would they use it? Why would they bring it to their boss, to their company? I was at a conference a few months ago and someone said, I love what you're doing. I think it's amazing, but if I bring it to my company, I might lose my job. And we do not want people to feel that way, right? We want to be a partner and an ally, and we want to offer complementary services to these sports marketers, whether it's at the league team level, sports betting, fantasy operators, sports media publishers, influencers, creators, agencies. If you're creating sports content, we want to supplement all of that amazing user generated content, long form podcasts and video with just another layer of content that can be more personalized and tailored to the fan.
Okay, yeah. So do you see a lot of marketers have been, afraid that you're gonna replace them, or is it just a small part of people, like you said?
I think that as the months go along, people are one accepting that AI is going to play a massive role in their day to day and understanding how they can use it efficiently and effectively. I think 6 months ago, it was a different story. I think there was a lot of fear going on in the market. But as people use some of the kind of just standard LLMs and tools for their day to day usage, going from Google search to Perplexity, instead of searching online, going to ChatGPT, right? Using some of these tools, I think people are starting to see the power of it. But sports marketing can often, and sports tech in general, can often be a little bit behind some of the other markets. And I think this is a really incredible opportunity, just this age of AI for sports and sports tech marketers to take a massive leap forward and catch up with all of the technology advancements that are going on in the space. And I think sports has a unique opportunity to leverage AI to improve the fan experience because there is so much news and so much data and so much information throughout sports. I mean, it is truly 24/7 that sports are ongoing. And so I think sports marketers are more open to it, but they need to be in order to stay ahead of the curve with how fast everything's innovating.
Okay, yeah. So I'm trying to understand the process. How do you work, let's say, with your clients, right? So, do you take the data from them? Do you extract all of this data and then you play with the data, aggregate it, feed it to your model, and create outputs? Or do you, yeah, how does it work? Do you also provide tools to get the data about their customers?
So right now, our focus is in day-to-day content creation and automating the creation of podcast style audio content. The future is personalization, right? Mass automation and personalization at the one-to-one level. Today, what we're empowering marketers to do is to be able to transform any text, any data, any static content into conversational audio. So what does that mean? We create a newsletter, right? And with the emergence of LLMs and sports marketers using Claude or ChatGPT or any of these other models to write more text, what if we could take that source material, that text, that newsletter, and transform it into a 3 to 5 minute podcast? What if we could take your SMS text and instead of sending a 140 character message with a link to go to another web page to read more text, what if we could send an audio message with a two speaker conversational banter back and forth about a game preview, about a bet recap, about player news? And what if we could do all of that in a minute? I like to say, what if a sports marketer had 24/7 access to voiceover resources? What if they had access to influencers and creators to create audio or podcasts every single second of the day? What would you transform into audio? And that's what we want to empower sports marketers to be able to do.
This is really exciting, Chris. I would like to add a part of your work into our podcast so the listeners could really understand and feel of what you guys are doing. So let's take a listen at it.
Here's your Man City versus Tottenham EPL match preview. This Saturday's clash is shaping up to be an absolute early season blockbuster. Both teams coming off dominant opening wins with their new signings making immediate impacts.
Haaland with that brace against the Wolves, while Richarlison grabbed 2 for the Spurs. Both strikers picking up exactly where they left off.
And the new faces have been game changers. City's Rangers impressed in midfield, while Cherki scored on his Premier League debut. These summer additions are already proving their worth.
Absolutely. And don't forget the Spurs' new signing Kudos registered 2 assists in their commanding 3-0 win over Burnley. Frank's men looked dangerous from the first whistle.
But here's what makes this matchup so intriguing. The Spurs absolutely demolished City 4-0 last November. James Maddison was unstoppable with a brace in that shocking result.
Incredible, right? Though City did get some revenge with that 1-0 win back in February, do you think the Spurs can pull off another surprise on the road?
That's the million-dollar question. Thomas Frank has Spurs playing with such confidence, but Pep City rarely loses twice at home to the same opponent. This could set the tone for the entire title race.
The midfield battle could be decisive. Reinders brings that dynamism for City, while Kudos gives the Spurs a whole new dimension with his vision and pace.
And let's not overlook Brennan Johnson, who also found the net for the Spurs. Their attacking depth is impressive this season. It's going to be electric when these teams clash.
Speaking of electric, the Haaland versus Richarlison duel is the headline matchup. Both strikers scored twice last weekend and are absolute focal points for their team's attacks.
This is exactly the kind of heavyweight clash that makes the Premier League so special. Two informed teams, star strikers, and innovative managers, both entering with full confidence.
No doubt. And with kickoff at 12:30 p.m. BST this Saturday, I can't wait to see which team establishes early momentum in what could be a crucial match for both sides.
It's the perfect showcase of Premier League talent. With new signings making immediate impacts and influential managers seeking early momentum, this match has all the ingredients for a classic.
Absolutely. Make sure to download Fubo today for your free trial to check out this early season matchup of league heavyweights in the EPL.
Couldn't agree more. With Fubo, you'll catch every moment of what promises to be one of the most thrilling games of the early season. Don't miss a second of the action.
Okay, so this was amazing, Chris. Could you tell us a little bit behind the scenes? How does technology works? How does that sounds being created? And maybe a little bit more in touch.
So the tech is a fully automated agentic workflow. We hear a lot about AI agents. Essentially, it's the ability to have a bunch of automated workers behind the scenes doing tasks all at the same time. And so what our platform empowers sports marketers to do is to automate research. So if you want to use LLMs to be able to automate research around any sporting event, any sports storyline, you can use our AI tool to be able to source that information. But because we're working with sports marketers that have their own content and data and insights and unique IP and storylines, we can use that written source material, content, blogs, even summaries, right? Articles. We can use that content and that information to be able to feed the platform so that the data and the insights and the storylines are coming from the client, right? Again, we want to empower those writers, those podcasters, those influencers, those creators, those teams, leagues, to leverage all of the amazing content that they have, but to be able to transform it into audio, which is a medium that younger sports fans in particular want. They're craving short form audio, video content. So the research and the source material is the first component. The second component is automated script writing. So we're able to take all of that content and transform it into a two-speaker podcast style content. And our platform is being trained to speak the language of sports. Now, this, I think, is one of the most critical components of what we're doing. There are other AI voice platforms out there, but they are just infrastructure layer AI tools. They are gonna call the greatest three-point shooter of all time, Stephen Curry, right? They're going to take a look at a sports betting line that is plus 120 money line and read it as plus 120 ML. It's not going to understand the context of sports, right? And when you think about authenticity and credibility and accuracy, all of these other platforms, you have to go in, you have to manually edit, you have to listen and revise. Our script writing agent is being updated to be able to understand the context of sports, and not just how sports content is written, but how it's actually conveyed, the jargon. So the script writing agent is another critical component. And then lastly are the audio voices. The audio models these days are incredibly lifelike. They're emotionally intelligent. They have inflections, right? And they can have this banter back and forth that feels like a conversation, right? Sports is a conversation. That's why we have multiple broadcasters. That's why sports podcasts often have 2, 3 different people commenters, right? I mean, all of the above. So for us on the technical component, you have the research agent up front, which either allows you to use AI or your own source material to feed the platform, the automated script writing agent that speaks the language of sports, and the audio models. And last is distribution, right? We just listened to a game preview, right? Match preview. Where does it go, right?
Yeah.
What we're doing is wanting to allow you to distribute that content wherever your fans are, right? We want to meet your fans where they consume content. So we have an audio player that we've designed and customized that can be where you can essentially use the audio in 3 different ways. Number one, you can download the audio, right? So if you want to upload that audio to social media for social media voiceover, awesome. If you want to distribute that audio via podcast networks, great. You have that file, you can upload it to Spotify. So now you have a branded short form daily podcast that maybe you didn't otherwise have. But we also have an embeddable player. So iFrame allows you to take that embeddable code, put it onto your website, put it into your app. And then lastly, audio players for things like external marketing communications like newsletter, SMS, you can actually link to a hosted player so that your fans can click in a newsletter or in an SMS and immediately listen to the audio on their phone, on the go, through their headphones, or wherever they are, whenever they want to listen to sports content.
Well, this sounds like a really, how to say it, not complex, like a full cycle solution for sport marketer over there.
Yeah, I think that's our goal, right? A lot of these AI tools are designed for developers, right? They are API integrations, they are technology driven, efficiency gainers, right? We've built our platform to be really intuitive for the sports marketer. And I think that's really where we're focused. I mean, we've niched within sports, but we're designing and have designed a platform that really is intuitive for the sports marketer. It looks and feels like an ad platform, like a marketing platform where you create brands and campaigns and audios easily distributed. We're really, really wanting to show our ideal customer profile that this has been designed for them, that not only the output speaks the language of sports for their fans or for their users or their customers, but that the platform was designed for them so they can feel like this company gets it. They know my needs. They understand what sports marketers, are being asked to do, right? And that's been our focus is ensuring that we create a product that sports marketers can rely on every single day to create more content and engage their fans with a new medium.
Who are your customers? Where are you aiming at, like sport marketers? Is it at the, at what level of the teams and etc.?
Look, I mean, we're aspirational entrepreneurs. We think that every league, team, media company, website, social media, brand, agency, right, marketing agency, influencer, creator can benefit from leveraging VOKOL. Again, we're not looking to replace the long form content in the podcasts and the video and any long form storylines, but there's this layer of content that is missing, right? This short form day to day. Sports is so mass media centric that most of the time when you're scrolling through Instagram or TikTok or going online, you're hearing about all these mass media outlets talking about the same 5 storylines. But what about all the other storylines? What about the other sports that these companies can't cover? What about the other news and notes that just get, that they just can only tweet about, right? Because that's the only time or bandwidth that they have. So, really our focus right now is on the sports marketer that wants to create more content on a day-to-day basis. Really where I think we transform sports media and sports marketing is over the next couple of months as we start to embark on mass automation and personalization, where we can create millions of daily personalized podcasts curated at the individual fan level. Like that is our North Star. That's our goal. And we believe that our technology is we're beginning to lay the foundation and the groundwork to empower sports marketers to be able to literally speak to their fan on a one-to-one level.
Mhm. Well, that's really interesting. What did the future of sports content you see as a person who's been in the industry for over 20 years? Is that correct?
You know, in and out of sports tech for quite some time. My first job was with the Seattle Mariners. I had an internship in college 20 years ago. So it's starting to make me sound old, but worked in sports out of college for the Seattle Mariners in the marketing department. I was on the microphone introducing bank sponsorships before the game, dancing on dugouts with the Mariner Moose. But yeah, have been able to see how marketing and advertising technology has changed and evolved over the last 10 to 15 years. And I really think that there's an opportunity to really nail personalization.
Mm-hmm.
And as a fan, when you hear an audio sample that is tailored to you, that is customized and personalized to you, it makes you want to go listen to more content. It wants you to go take a look at that long form content. We talked to partners today and even other publishers and content creators. They want their stories to be heard. Right. But if they're writing articles or if their content only lives for a few hours, right? That morning to when game time tips off or kicks off, there's a short life cycle. So the short form audio content we think can really, really enhance the fan experience, giving them this bite-sized snackable content that they can consume, right before a game, right after a game. And not to mention, I think that there's opportunity and implications when it comes to brands and sponsors.
Mm-hmm.
So not only can content be personalized, but we can also empower brands and sponsors to curate their brand messaging in a more automated fashion. We hear often that, in podcasting, you have to have talent go and record generic ad reads that have to last for a month, right? Because you're probably not going to get that talent to do ad reads every single day or every single week. Well, what if in addition to timely, personalized, curated content at the one-to-one fan level, we could also customize those ad reads at a one-to-one fan level? How much more powerful does that sponsorship, that commercial opportunity become for the brands and sponsors of sports leagues, teams, affiliate marketers, right? Like there's a lot of opportunity on the commercial side in addition to improving the fan experience.
Okay, yeah. So in terms of the content, right? So you've mentioned that basically people, and it's human nature, but people are moving from reading a lot of content towards listening and towards video. Do you have any plans in terms of integrating video stuff, or producing also personalized content, but maybe not only the podcast, something else in future?
So AI influencers and AI video are all the rage, right? Because of how funny it is, right? How unique and interesting it is, these use cases. Kalshi, who is a prediction markets platform, created a commercial, excuse me, for the NBA Finals.
Mm-hmm.
What they told you is that, hey, we used one person in all AI, right? Well, it took them 2,000 iterations to be able to use that AI video to get it into a place where it's where it was usable. So that's a power user, someone that went in and figured out how to create that commercial. On the flip side, though, we're seeing companies that are going from leveraging AI to create text, right? And as you mentioned, a medium that is being consumed less and less by younger fans directly to video. And I worry that in some cases, these AI influencer videos are detrimental to a brand.
Okay.
The mouth doesn't move at the same pace as the voice, right? You can clearly tell that it's not a person. I think when you bring someone's face, right, a person into it, I think it changes things. On the flip side, AI audio has been around for decades. We've been listening to text to speech. We're accustomed to calling into call centers, knowing that it's not a person, right? We've been scrolling on TikTok, hearing that robotic text to speech voice. So I think the market's a bit more receptive to AI audio. But what I'd say about our future is there is no video without audio.
Hmm.
Audio is, we think, kind of the great equalizer, right? It sits in the middle of being able to transform all text written content into audio. And then you have to have an audio that sounds lifelike, speaks the language of sports, understands sports messaging, content, jargon, right? And the nuances of the language of sports in order for the video to be successful. So we see a world where video platforms or even sports marketers that are creating AI generated video will use our audio platform to create the underlying voices that speak the language of sports. Now, do we have aspirations to grow and expand our product library? Maybe. Do we have aspirations to expand beyond sports? Maybe. But our goal and our focus is to make AI audio a predominant medium of content in the sports media landscape.
Yeah, and it's really smart to focus on one thing first, and then down the road, if the opportunity comes up, then you might pursue them. But I completely agree. If your AI voice for sports, that's where you best at. And I think this thing you're doing is really unique, to be honest. So maybe like different industries that are forward over there. I don't know, like maybe some technology industries that are, I don't even know, like banking or something, they already implementing something like it. But at least in sports I haven't heard like anything similar. So I think what they are doing is really unique. And yeah.
Appreciate it. And it's not without, a lot of learnings, right? Doing something new and trying to really communicate our vision. At the end of the day, we have a very massive vision, and that's that AI audio is going to be one of the preeminent ways that we engage with fans on a day-to-day basis. We talked a lot about marketing and communications, but I want you to think about the in-app experience. When you
Hmm.
go into an app, and you're looking at leaderboards and scoreboards and stats and data and information, that is all a fairly static experience. Yes, we have highlights and videos that you can listen to in a lot of these apps, but when it comes to sports data, content, betting, fantasy, the majority of those user experiences are all static text, data, number based experiences. So, think about a world where you log into an app and you
Hmm.
get personalized podcasts, sent to you. You can click on a game and listen to a preview. You can go to a player and get a recap of their last 5 games, all in short form, easily digestible audio. And eventually, we're going to be talking to our apps to get information. And that conversational audio component is really what comes next, is the ability to use these AI voice models to speak to these leagues, teams, brands, to get the information that you want when you want it via a voice prompt, to be able to have that one-to-one conversation. That's really where all of this leads to, is that real-time conversational audio for sports fans.
Okay, yeah, a huge vision, huge future. Chris, at the end, I want to have a small blitz with you. First of all, what is the favorite sport? What is your favorite sport?
Oh, favorite sport to play? Basketball. I love playing basketball, shooting hoops, but I love golf. I'm a big time golfer. My dad worked in the golf industry for 30 years, so I love basketball. I love playing golf. I'll play any sport you throw at me. Pickleball, you name it, I'm all about it.
Who is your favorite player, athlete ever?
Favorite athlete of all time, Ken Griffey Jr. I am a Seattle born and raised. Ken Griffey Jr., the swing with the backwards hat. Absolutely love Griffey.
Okay, what is the favorite part of your job or what you do?
I think my favorite part is is creating something that is going to change the game for fans like me. I am inherently a sports fan. And so if I can create something that can just fundamentally change fandom and the way that I engage or that we engage with content online to get more information to fans, at a more personalized level, I just keep thinking about how impactful this will be to me, right? In my fandom and my friends and the people that I know, and then more broadly, right? So I love the idea of just being able to create something that fans love and that will engage fans at a deeper level.
Well, okay, this is the best part. What is the worst part of your job? What is the hardest one?
I mean, look, being an entrepreneur is not easy. There's a lot of long hours. There's a lot of sacrifices that you have to make. Friendships, right? The time that you spend, the stuff that you do. But, if you've got that entrepreneurial spirit in you, it drives you. It keeps you going. It keeps you up at night. It makes you work long hours, but I wouldn't change it. It's something that I love. We've got a great team, but the hardest part is the hard work, rolling up the sleeves and really, really grinding long days, long nights to build something that really changes sports.
Okay, and the last part, what advice would you give to startuppers overall and to the people who want to start their company?
I think that these days, it is easier to go from 0 to 1. AI truly has changed the way that I operate from a day-to-day business, and I was not an AI guy more than a year ago. I've fully adopted AI tools that have helped me learn more, work faster, work smarter, be quicker, get more done. And if you want to compete in today's age, go start testing some AI tools. Go use Lovable to build the UX of an app. Go use some of these tools to go test and try and commit to using ChatGPT or Claude or Perplexity every single day to start to see how you can get a leg up on the competition, because we are still in the early stages of AI, the full commercialization of it. And if you can leverage some of those tools to get your product up and running, to get to market faster, to start generating revenue quicker, it'll give you an opportunity to raise money, generate income. It really, really is a game changer. And this is coming from somebody who's a bit more of an old school sales, marketing, biz dev guy. It really is transformational.
Okay, Chris Shreeve was with that. It was awesome to have you. Awesome to hear what you guys are doing. And I'm pretty sure that everyone who is listening to us will be following your journey. And we are excited to see what the future brings.
Great. Thanks for having me.
Bye.